How's it going? Oh, yeah. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Your love lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before.
So good to see you.
So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore.
Oh, yeah.
You know your love keeps on lifting higher, higher, and higher.
A timeless song. It keeps lifting me higher and higher. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you. We're talking about the state of black business tonight. I I don't know if I'm an example of anything. I definitely am an example of black business ownership. Woo! JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm that I started in 1995. Isn't that something? Mm, mm, mm. God's love keeps lifting me higher and higher. I'm so absolutely blessed. I'm so thankful that you're sharing your evening with me, that we can talk about a black business report that was done by the Urban League, the National Urban League. Yeah, about what's going on for black business, how it's trending. I appreciate you, Reverend Bozeman. I appreciate you, the man, the entrepreneur, the spiritual leader. Reverend Bozeman just got in the studio. I wonder how we're going to all go into this conclusion of the year. How we're going to end 2024. Are we going to end it strong? Are we going to crawl? Are we going to crawl? Are we going to crawl into it? We're just going to, we're going to like slide into home base, like just do it in a big way. You know, the good thing about it is that we're in charge. You know, God allows us to be here for times such as this, times such as this, for us to share with each other. And I want to go over the report. Um, I was shocked. I don't, know what just, I always just depend on something to give me a thought for our discussion on Wednesday night. And business came in. I think I started thinking about, I'm gonna come and get you. I think what made me think about black business was the stuff that's going on with Jay-Z and P. Diddy. Like, I know that we like think of them as entertainers, like if they're in the entertainment business, but they are um, in this sense, an example of black business. It all started from nothing, you know, like I did. And, you know, we can tell that people love entertainment a lot more than they love getting their financial outcome. So I'm holding you down wrong with like, I don't know what our average participation is, but if I was talking about something other than your own wealth development, I don't think it would only be the few of us talking about it. You know, um, we can't blame it on young people. A lot of times, people want to say, "Oh, it's those young people doing that," but no, it goes all the way back. You know what? I just started tonight. With music, we love music. I love music too. I was like, Jackie Wilson, your love keeps lifting me higher. Still playing, still playing. It's amazing. Entertainment is a great business to be in. Mm. Oh, you saw my question.
Yeah.
Yeah, can America benefit from increasing the spread of black business? And I took that down and then I switched to another question. You see the other question?
No, let me take a look.
It was because it wouldn't let me edit. I had put increases. How are you doing? The trill talk.
No, I don't see the other
You
question.
know, like I don't know what's up with that name. Paul, thank you. I'm not going to talk about your name since you're being kind to me. It wouldn't let you answer the poll question. Oh, I know, because I tried to take that down. The poll is closed. It was 100% yes. But there's another question I put in there. Oh, why? Why do you think that there's a decline? But you all can't see that one, huh?
No, can't see that one.
I moved from a yes and no to an open-ended question that will create more interaction. It's like, yeah, right. But I was supposed to since I had the but it wouldn't let you do the so I guess that's a LOL. But so let's just talk. Let's look at the stats. Let's look at this serious the 2024 um report. Oh, but you know what I was saying, that I was thinking about like the hits that black business is taking when you see, you know, um, our leaders in the black entertainment business and entertainment. I mean, they are very, saying real name, Sean Combs, P. Diddy was a very successful um, person. Lots of acts, a lot of people that we listen to because of his work in the record business and recording business. And he had a day. They gave him a day. He had a day in New York. He had, everything. He was giving money to universities and everything. And now they're suing Jay-Z. And I'm so excited that Jay-Z is fighting back. You know, I'm hoping that he's innocent.
Me too.
I'm hoping that he's innocent, and that is the exact reason of why you should, fight back.
Yeah.
And I'm also hoping that people will keep their children at home,
What do you mean?
because a lot of young people don't look like young people even 20 years ago. Now, when I was 13, I'm sure if my mother, thank God, by the grace of God, my father nor my mother took me to an adult party and dropped me off, you know?
No.
So the likelihood of this happening would be impossible. I had someone ask me one day about, what if so and so happened to your daughter, blah, blah, blah. I said, first, I would have to put her in that type of situation. Because if she was there, the police were obviously looking for her. So we would have a police report on that evening that she was 13 and not in the house. Do you feel me on that, Lekay?
Mm-hmm. Most
Oh,
certainly.
you know, I I I think that there's a lot to be unpeeled here, as I heard someone call it an onion. On a lot of stuff. The same with um, R. Kelly. I don't think that. I mean, as a woman and as a parent, I don't feel that it's any other person's responsibility to look out for my child's best interests. I feel that I have to. I feel that we have to. And I think that that's the bigger point than anything, is that it's time for women to take charge of themselves and to start telling their young women how to protect themselves. No, because we cannot expect people that are inebriated to look out for your child's best interest. Your child shouldn't be there, in my opinion. I don't know, there may be some people, but it is amazing to me. Good to see you all as well. But let's try to stay on topic, Miss Davis. Let's just stay. Let's greetings. Look, we should just we should stop. Everybody just say greetings so that Miss Davis can say greetings. Y'all can't see, but she's trying to speak. She got to speak to everybody. She doesn't care what I'm talking about. The rest of us. I'll get back to that. First, I say hi to everybody. But I was talking about the impact of Sean Combs and what's Sean
Carter.
Sean Carter.
Isn't that something?
Sean Carter.
Both of their names are Sean. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
But their impact on Black
SC.
business.
Both of them got SC as initials.
Right. And but yeah, you can't see the other question. Good evening, Queen Howard, right back at you. And I think that we don't, take charge over our community.
Which
And-
has to change.
Yeah, we're not taking charge of the narrative. We're not taking charge of the responsibility that we have over each other, over our young people. We're not taking charge of how we interact, with each other professionally. We're not taking charge of how Black businesses should treat Black people that, do business with Black businesses. I believe that if we did and made a commitment, had a code that
Amen.
this is how we treat, one another. This is how we treat all human beings. But what makes it so sad is that sometimes Black businesses will treat like other cultures better than they'll treat people that look like them.
True.
That's scary on what type of psychological level we must be on when we do that, and what makes us afraid of being ourselves.
Deep-seated
Being ourselves.
conditioning.
Mm.
Hmm?
Mhm.
I'm sorry, repeat.
Deep-seated conditioning. We've been conditioned to distrust each other.
Yeah.
But it's
yeah.
slowly changing, I think.
It's slowly just getting worse.
You think so?
Yeah, they just don't care. Just don't care. You don't see how many people are online talking about Jay-Z, one of the richest Black men on the planet, as if he was already found guilty of something.
Oh.
But what are they? I mean, I think
I knew he did it. I told y'all. I so and so. You know what I'm saying? This man has a wife and children. He has a life. Like, it's like we don't think that he's a human being. People get charged with stuff every day that
That's
has
right.
absolutely nothing to do with us going out there collectively talking negative about that man. That's what we have no code. There could have been something you were going to say right then that you think is okay to say, because we don't have a code to say innocent until proven guilty, no matter how old she is.
Well, I think
She could be 2 and accusing him that when she was 2 that happened. You know what I'm saying? Lawyers are still help people lie. Innocent until proven guilty. Period. That is just ridiculous that we don't realize we living in a time post Emmett Till and we're still that confused about innocent until proven guilty. That now they don't have to poke the eyes out. We're poking the eyes out.
That's to an extent that's jealousy.
Yes.
People have this
Yes.
jealousy of rich people.
The fact that we live in a society that is saying that it's okay to kill that man over the health insurance company.
Yeah.
Over the health insurance. It is not okay to kill another human being. Thou shalt not kill. I don't care how many people that man you think he killed. You take him to court. We don't go around killing people because people that worked under him turned down claims or whatever. Or he did insider trade. I don't know. There's nothing that he can do except for try to kill you. That justify killing someone.
Well, okay.
So that you know what I'm saying? With the man, no, we know that. But with P. Diddy, Sean Combs, I mean, and Sean Carter, from a black business perspective, we have to lift our thoughts up and stop closing doors on black professionals just because someone accuses them of something. As Reverend Bozeman said, people are jealous. Then they feel like they can get half of the people in America to agree just because they say it's a girl.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do y'all feel, because I have a different position.
What
But-
is your position?
Okay. So, well, let me ask you this first.
No, just say what's your position.
Well, no, I mean, this is what
No, don't just say your position.
Okay, this
Stand
is
on it. 10 toes down.
Well,
Stand on it.
well,
Okay.
this I want to make this point. Do you feel that
You
the
asked
same
me.
position? Do you feel that the same position would be taken against a black male or black woman? Either one. Oh no, let's say black male.
I don't even
A black
understand.
a
What are
black
you trying to say? Just say it. I don't understand all that.
Okay,
Just,
that's what I'm
what are
saying.
you
Do
trying
you
to
feel
say?
like
Do you think? What are you saying? My
So-
point is that you're innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, that's
my
true.
That's my point. So, are you here? It is. This is a black man, and what are you saying?
So what I'm trying to say is this. Yes, it's true you're innocent until proven guilty. However,
Okay.
we can be judged based on our historical behaviors, right?
Yes, I
So
know,
if-
and they should, and you shouldn't.
Well,
Because
I
if you
mean,
kill somebody, you go to
that's the
jail,
only-
you come
that's
out of jail for murder, you come back out, somebody gets killed, they think the person that killed somebody that went to jail for murder is the one that killed that one. There were
Okay.
100,000. When you base it on that premise, the guy that shot that man would not have ever been caught because there were a
Okay.
whole bunch of other killers in New York on that very street.
So
And
should
that man
so
was not a killer.
so
He was
should
an
we not do
eye-candy.
background checks?
Yes, he should do a background check, but that only that's circumstantial. That is not somebody's not guilty. You still gotta have DNA.
Right. Nobody.
You
But,
still gotta have some. What evidence? I don't know of any evidence of Jay-Z raping little girls,
but I'm
I
saying
don't know.
based
That
on his
might come up
historical-
later. But I still, until I find him guilty, he's innocent.
Right.
Even
I
if a
agree
judge
with you.
said it, I'm not going to agree with it. If a judge says that he's guilty just because they don't like him and he's too rich and richer than him, and for whatever, like that boy that shot that man is probably going to be found innocent because nobody likes that. It's sick. It's sick. But
Well,
back to black business from a black business perspective.
Well, I do believe the
have
black
to
men
give
are. I
her-
do believe the black men are targeted at a higher rate. However, I'm just saying.
Black people in general.
Right,
The
but we're
reason
talking
that
about
we're
black
not
men.
with the- But this
These
specific case
key examples happen
are
to be black
the
men.
biggest black businesses in entertainment.
Right.
There's another black man who has his own business, venture capital firm,
Mhm.
that after he gave a whole bunch of money to Morehouse, all of a sudden he's subjected to the IRS saying that he owes the money.
Mhm.
He had to come up with like $250 million out of nowhere, or they were going to send him to jail.
But do you think that
Right
these
after-
people are engaged in behaviors? Do you think that these people are engaged in behaviors that make them a target
What behavior
behind the scenes that we
other
don't
than-
know?
But that would no. What behavior? You are a entertainer. You're very popular. You're very rich. Other than the fact of you being in bed with little girls, that's no behavior that connects them to this crime. None. Not him. Especially not
I mean, I
Jay-Z.
think that industry.
I don't know what they have on P. Diddy, but we still don't know anything about 13. But I still want to get back to the chauffeur that brought the little girl there. I want to get back to a whole bunch of people they need to sue, and they also need to do criminal charges. If this is true, why are you going to go and make it into a civil matter for a black man when this is a criminal matter?
Well,
It is a criminal matter. You just want to get money because they know that we will fold on one another. We will fold on one another. I have asked people throughout my career, when they get shambled by somebody and they take their money from them, I ask them straight up, do the survey. Would you allow me to do that to you? No way.
So is Jay
But
the
they'll let
case
others-
against Jay-Z a civil case and not a criminal
Yeah.
case?
Yes, a civil case. But
I
they
didn't
said
even, I
it.
didn't
They
even
said
know
it was
you
a
could do
civil
federal
because
civil.
they said it was civil because it's reached that limitation of
It's
time,
a lie, though. It's a lie. You have
Oh, the
28
statute of
years
the
on
limitation.
statute of limitations.
But that's not true. I was listening to lawyers talk about it today. It could be in criminal court up to 28 years. And if you're a black man, they probably let you do it at 50 years. They create some sort of expansion.
Yeah,
That's how they
we
got
just
Bill
went
Cosby.
through. Didn't we
Huh?
just go through a period where
Up in New York.
abuse cases could be tried
That's right.
no matter how far
Yeah,
back
that
they
was in
were?
New York,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. And then this was fed. That's where the whole I think Bill Cosby came up under that. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
But this one is they could have done criminal. They chose to do it this way.
Which is suspect.
Yes. And we should stop just folding and giving in. And I think that the letter that Jay-Z wrote is epic. And we need to all learn to fight back. When you're innocent, fight back. Don't just give in because it's it's just easier. Just come up with the money and give it to them like Michael Jackson did. No, you can fight back. There's no way that he could have made it in business this long without being a fighter. There's no way. Now this will probably mess up his chances of doing his deal with the NFL and NBA and all this and whatever he's trying to do. The amount of money that is lost off people just making up stuff on us is crazy. The lies that people have told on me, I don't even know what they are, but I know they've told lies. So there's people out there who won't even call me so that I can help them with their finances because they've been lied to. And then they look at me and then they say, look at her. I can tell she's just mean. She's just mean. She's telling us we should stand up for ourselves. But as soon as they get robbed, who people want to call? Soon as they get robbed, soon as they want to, you know what I'm saying? Who they want to call. But it's okay for a white defense attorney to stand up and fight for you. But a black person stand up and fight for you, all of a sudden there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with a brother. You suspect. You sitting there going to these parties. He's an entertainer. Lee K, don't turn off your camera. Come on. Come on back. Exactly. The CEO killer. Exactly. You know, everybody's treating that handsome young man like he is golden. It's a trip. They don't even want to put the pictures on there how bad he looked when they picked him up at McDonald's. They go back and they find good pictures of him. Look at them. They got Jay-Z better not walk out of the house looking halfway wrong because they want him now. They can't do anything. It is like you said, there's so much jealousy out here. But the worst thing is for us to allow the jealousy in on us. If you could see the diminishing, good evenings, Dr. Ward, the diminishing number of Black businesses. Remember after George Floyd, remember when he was killed?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, there's everybody Black again. Everything's Black. Black lives matter. Black businesses matter. Black. Now it's all gone.
Black Lives Matter was seeking to destroy the family.
And all gone. Everything is just gone. It's like, the Black businesses that were created and the Black business support that corporations were exploiting us on. I knew it. I said, all this is going to be gone. This is just something to do right now during
That's
COVID.
right. 6 months later.
They were gone.
Yeah, 6 months later, it was over.
Look at this says. This is called Alliance for Entrepreneurial Equity. The State of Black Business 2024 National Urban League says recent legal challenges have targeted programs aimed at alleviating the obstacles faced by marginalized communities, particularly those designed to promote equity and entrepreneurship. That means nothing to us. I hope they know that. With this analysis, we can create and implement strategies that catalyze informed policymaking, advocacy efforts, and targeted interventions aimed at reversing systemic barriers and fostering a more equitable entrepreneurial ecosystem. What is wrong with us? That is the statement from the Alliance for Entrepreneurial Equity. What in the world do they think they said?
Read it again.
Recent challenges have targeted programs aimed at alleviating the obstacles faced by marginalized communities. They can't say Black, particularly those designed to promote equity and entrepreneurship. With this analysis, we can create and implement strategies that catalyze informed policymaking, advocacy efforts, and targeted interventions aimed at reversing systemic barriers and fostering a more equitable entrepreneurial ecosystem.
All right.
In my business, they shut that shit down. We cannot write things that do not talk to the average person.
Right. That's very highfalutin.
Who the heck were they talking? It is a responsibility that you have. This is a nonprofit organization making a quote like that. Who are you talking to? You can tell you're a freaking lobbyist group. Finance, you know what I mean? Finance with your political agenda and don't have any intention on doing anything on helping the real Black business. Because if you did, you'd be talking to the plumber, you'd be talking to the HVAC man, you'd be talking to the construction man. You know what I'm saying? You would not be trying to talk over everybody's head.
Right.
Who are you talking to? My sister, the National Urban League, is like really proud to quote that on their Black business report.
There's breaking news here in Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills just allowed 20% minority investments. And so Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady, who are ex-NBA, have invested in the Buffalo Bills as minority owners. That happened today.
They're all doing that. Well, Buffalo must have been one of the last, huh? And then they'll still they'll can come up to 20%.
20%, yeah.
Up to 20%?
No, 20%, as they have released 20% to investors, to non-controlling.
So they're going to make sure that they never can control what happens, basically.
Yeah, they're
there's only 20%. Yeah, we'll give up 20%, but 80% could be owned by two people.
Yeah, they're limited partners.
Or a family. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they do, and then they go find people like popular people like say Noah Lyles, and they'll let him put in 100,000 and call him a minority owner.
Yeah.
Then they'll go and find, you know what I'm saying? Like Serena, this and that. You don't know, but they just say, oh, this is the first Black, all of it's PR, y'all. All of it's PR. All of it's PR. It's sad.
What I'm wondering is what do they get out of it?
That's what I was about to say. What I want to know is, do they have voting rights? Do they get to make money off the profits? Are they getting ticket sales? You know what I mean? What?
Yeah.
Are they, is it publicly traded? Are they going to try to be publicly traded? Are they, what? And
no,
which one?
It's still private.
Because they only made 20% available. So those two literally could only have 1 or less than 1%. They just gave two names.
So 10 people total have invested that and bought that 20%.
Oh, and then of those two, it's 2 Black people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they still might not have maxed out the 20%. You might just say we just are making it available,
Yeah.
Depends on, on their words. And that they don't tell you exactly what little the percentages are.
Yeah, that's what they did with what's his name, Jay-Z, when he bought the Brooklyn Nets. He only had like 1%, but
Mm.
they put his name out front
Mm.
and used him.
And I thought that P. Diddy owned that liquor company until you get the details, you know. And
Yeah.
Oh, Ciroc?
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was just the front for it.
Diragio or something like that.
It was just the front for it. Like, but the we, you know, a lot of times get confused on, you know, what's really black business and how much, you know, how much is really owned and by who. But this is their this is that black owned, the urbanly black owned business report, you know, saying that paragraph was up there, it opened it up. But the and believe you me, if I had a chance to talk to the person myself, I would tell them. But I know that very, you know, few people involved in these organizations have ever had a successful business of their own. So they really can't help us because they're not committed to our success. They're just committed to saying the numbers on how bad things are. And that's what we have to realize, that there's a lot of people that benefit from talking about how bad things are. Who's that? Good news. Black owned businesses are more likely than other businesses to have a low level of debt or no debt at all, which I think is great news because I agree. And that's my goal. And that's where I am. The bad news, that's because black owned businesses are far less likely to be approved for loans in the first place. I haven't applied for a loan in the last place. And anytime I did for commercial property, I was approved. And black business owners are more likely to pull from their personal savings for business expenses.
Yeah.
If you use your savings, you get to write it off. You own the business. It's all the same. You're using it. You know, what do they want you to do? Borrow it all from them so then they can, you owe them and they own you. If you use your own money, you don't owe anybody. So that's you know, that's great. We've been socialized to think that we can't function in business unless we borrow some money from somebody, you know? So they want to continue that narrative when what we need in business is customers.
Yeah. True.
We need customers.
But you know, the disadvantage in us not getting those loans is that it limits our expansion capabilities because
Yeah.
we're undercapitalized.
But we'd be expanding too quickly anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, you could look at it that way. And what happens is they go out of business when they get the loan because then now they have debt that they can't afford to pay back. So our capitalization should not come from loans. We don't want the bank to own us. We want to get capitalized the way America was through investing in ourselves.
Right. Venture
Families,
capitalists.
families getting together, finding investors, talking to an investment advisor like myself, learning how I can help you raise money for your business. You know, we don't talk to anybody. But I can also tell you that you can have your business for 30 years and own your business for 30 years. I can tell you that because I do. You know, but every time you get into debt or get into other investors, you have to understand you're giving up part of your business. You're giving up part of your control.
Right.
And
So we have to remember, what's the point? What
And
is the point? You get a government contract, then you can get financing that will be financed by that government contract. You get the business, you get the customer. You ain't got to worry about the money coming in. You really don't. What were you gonna say?
Well, something that I noticed in business too, that a lot of there's a lot of effort or energy put towards, small businesses growing and becoming so big that they sell it. And I'm like, well, no, that's not the point. The point is to hold on to your business so that you can have it within your family, pass it, something like that.
For some
Right.
people,
But I'm saying there's a big push to grow and to sell your business.
Oh, exactly. And
For me, I don't
there's some
understand
people
that.
like that just want to be a serial entrepreneur. But if they truly, you know what I mean, but that they can build wealth that way, but you're gonna have to constantly be building and selling. But you don't have to go into debt to build. You can create ideas for businesses and sell them. That is a business. The business can be creating business ideas. People buy it. You gave not because some people can't come up with ideas. But if a person does, the most important part about our community is learning how that you do pass it on to the next generation or you sell it. I've actually helped clients with their business broker on the taxation and the financial process of selling the business. We just think we have no, everything goes back to self-esteem and confidence and valuing yourself. We just go out of business. And that's something. It's just go. It's just done. They don't think anything that they have has any value, and they definitely don't talk to me to think that I can actually help them. It's so sad, But until until we get fundamentally comfortable with being in charge of our own destiny, that's what's holding us back from being entrepreneurs, from being businesses. We have been socialized to think you grow up, you go to high school, you go to college, you get a job.
Exactly.
University of Virginia now has like social entrepreneur programs, entrepreneurship programs. People are coming out of school. We have college graduates in our community that are unemployed because we haven't taught them to be entrepreneurs. I started this business in my 20s. Now I'm still in business. But we have been told, because I was told, and I notice people still tell them, they don't, you know what I mean? They don't say, join Afro Economics. She has an entrepreneurship program. She can help you get that stuff straight, get it right from the beginning. That's why I created it. But as soon as I say, oh, we have too many, this is enough, like, we can't take it's big. Oh, everybody, oh my goodness, I really need that. Da, 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 da. It's just like, it's just like this time of year, make myself available all through the year. Get to the end of the year, I want to do my continuing ed. Then all of a sudden, everybody want to meet. But we have to start planning. Planning. My family used to be so irritated with me because I would tell them I have to plan everything. I literally do. If you want to be scattered and spoiled, then continue, shouldn't even be considering entrepreneurship. But if you want structure and planning and you're committed to service, that's where entrepreneurs come in. Is entrepreneurship about per people, in my opinion, about people that are trying to get rich? You know, I don't see it for that. I see that you get very good, but it's going to take a long time. You make good money, but it's going to take a long time because your employees come first, your customers come first. It's going to take a long time. So we have to actually love, and this is my opinion, we
Mhm.
must love what we have been called to do so much that we would do it absolutely for free, but you'll still commit yourself to it 100%.
Amen.
100%. Knowing that as long as I do right, we'll get to it later. Hmm. You said, who said that? I love it. Who is this? Who said this up here about? Oh, Barbara, that's right. Miss California spoke. She said Walmart terminated the DEI program, but they hired Black entertainers during the holidays to do commercials. I know that's right. Like, because I'm telling you, that DEI stuff is not for us anyway. Walmart cannot exist without hiring Black folk. We ain't got to worry about that. We did not have to worry about getting jobs. Anybody who worries about getting a job is really totally off course. Totally off course. I mean, you really think? I mean, who cannot get a job? What you're doing is you're helping someone else make a lot more money off your presence.
That's right. Who who wrote that report that you read?
I put that down there too. That was the National Urban League. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
there. But I did put it out. I hope I pressed enter. Did I?
Yeah, I see
It's
it.
in there.
National
Okay.
Urban League.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't say that I was answering that though. Thank you. hmm But I wanna go back to that. So let's go back to it. So the 2024 State of Black Business Report finds that Black Americans are drastically underrepresented among business owners relative to our share of the population. We are more likely than other businesses to be shut out of traditional financing opportunities. Black businesses are starved of venture capital investment, and they are less likely to be awarded government contracts. And totally on that last line, and when I tried to ask some of Obama's people about that, once you say that white women are minorities, as the Democratic Party decided, white
Yeah.
women are equal to a black man and a black woman, and now gay people, we're all fighting for the same government contracts. So that's why I'm saying the whole DEI and all of that, like, black, you might as well forget that. And we're gonna sit there and fight about DEI, and it ain't about you. It ain't about us. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. We started this entire country.
We built it.
We built Washington, D.C. and everywhere else. And we're going around asking people for what?
Yeah, we showed them how to make whiskey. We showed them how to grow corn.
And we got black people everywhere. You got black people everywhere. You got black people in Congress. You got black people work for the government. You got black people. So in my opinion, and you know that I have always been consistent on this, our way up is through business development.
Amen.
Through business development. There should be a designated amount. Now you got $1.5 billion that was raised for a black woman to run for president. Diversity, equity, and inclusion is not a problem for us. Now it's about you better stay in your place. That's where that is. Because in order for us to advance, these black people that get in those jobs must designate a percentage based on what we represent in this population to building our businesses. So if black people represent 15% of this country that we built, then 15% of these government contracts must be going to us. Anybody that runs for office and can't say that, you're not getting my vote. I don't care what color you are. And I'm not going to make excuses because you're black. Well, they black, they got to look out for everybody. Yes, and that includes us. That includes the 15% that's black. But what will you all do that are in the position to do it? You allow them to say, oh, well, that 15% can be broken down to everybody else. Women, you know what I'm saying? Sex preferences, everything. And, let's throw a couple black thing in there, but we become less and less of that 15% when that is specifically for our percentages. Color based. Then they can add on everything else. They can add on everything else. If we had the self-esteem to support it. If we had the self-esteem, but that's going to take self-esteem. That's going to take determination. That's going to take that we look beyond fraternities and sororities and you know me, what color someone is, and we're going to have to start looking at what is this specific person doing for the future of my children and my children's children.
You know, I met a woman in San Francisco who had a successful business, uh, and she refused to go under the minority programs. Whenever they try and put her in a minority
Mhm.
program, she refused because she
Mhm.
said that would limit her capability to expand,
It could, it
which I
could.
thought was interesting.
Whenever they have like minority things, and I would go to them all the time when I first started my business, they never had anybody there from the finance department. They would look around the room and go, "Who does that? Who purchases for investments and insurance and stuff like that? Who does that?" But they'll bring out custodians, cooks,
Yeah,
cafeteria. You know what I'm saying? Anything like that. They'll bring. You know
menial
what I'm saying?
labor jobs.
Anything else you can do, but they did not. So they cut out opportunities for people that might do I don't know construction or I don't know. They'll have construction for us all the time, but you know they cut out anything they didn't just have somebody for everything. I mean, and it was like, oh, that's different. Maybe sometime we can let you come in and do workshops for us. Only one corporation actually paid. They always think you should come in there and do a workshop for free. One corporation, pay for the workshop, but you know they pay everybody else,
Mm-hmm. You be paying me too.
right? Well, what we need the connection. We need to connect. We need to connect. I was at this one session. It was in Washington D.C. and it was about black wealth and everything. And the person that had put it together, it was like it was one of the government offices of finances and stuff. And it was about black wealth from a government perspective. So the employee stood up and said, "I think that we make a mistake when we think that we have to talk to someone black about our finances. That's where we really limit ourselves. We should stop looking at black people for someone like you might not be able to find a black financial advisor in the workshop that I'm in. Like I'm there." And I said, "Do you realize what you just said?" And this was a long time ago too. I said, "Do you realize what you said? You just undercut me, and there's a couple other people here who actually have black financial service companies. You just cut us all out." And when that what they did was based on a survey, I think it was done by Prudential, and in the Prudential survey, it specifically asked black folks, and the black people said they really didn't care about the color of their financial advisor.
Hmm.
That was for the white boys that work at Prudential to make sure that they knew. Black folks don't care about that. So we ain't gotta hire nobody black.
Mm, mm, mm.
We shut their own door. They were all proud. Whoever did this, you know me when they answered the survey. Oh, I'm so multicultural. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. No, you just made sure your kid doesn't get a chance when they come out of college. They wouldn't even ask white people that question because they know the answer. But let's ask these black folk in this black survey. And then we wonder why, you know what I mean? Our businesses, don't succeed. We have to have some sense of at least discussion, some sense of loyalty, something. I think, you know what I mean? With the overwhelming majority of black people living and dying and retiring and working without ever, ever, ever talking to me ever in life. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if they ever think, you know, I should have at least tried to talk to her. have at least tried, you know what I'm saying? But yet we'll go and expect other people to hire us. You know what I'm saying? Like, or try to make sure your name don't sound black. They gonna know you black at some point. This is
I
a
think there's a
job.
certain level of shame involved in that Black people have in working with Black people
Not
or
sad.
going
Hmm.
or going to Black providers because there's a sense that it's second rate.
Mm,
Yep.
mm.
And that hence is why they had to close out the DEI programs, probably because it was like black people didn't even want to hire black people.
Yeah,
They were like, Lord, we did this because we thought they were gonna hire black people. I mean, wouldn't that be something? He said, they ain't hiring nobody black.
Brainwash.
Yeah, heart wash,
amen.
heart
Yeah,
wash, heartbroken. No excuse. And it breaks down. That is the breakdown of our family right there. How we see each other, how we see ourselves.
yes,
And that's how you can be so dismissive and just push each other to the side and think, that our children don't need each other, don't need us, and don't need us together. Things like that. It's so sad. Mm, mm, mm. Exactly. Exactly. Like the business is not on most of our minds. It's just not. You know, like what is on our mind though? Do we understand what the stock market is? A lot of people don't even understand that when they're buying stock, they're buying partial ownership in someone else's company. That's it. That's what I was saying. Like, you don't know about businesses that are on loans, but you know that businesses that have investors that are publicly traded on Wall Street, that's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. But we got to have our finances so straight that if you ever had to go public as a business owner, you still would be able to have controlling interest in your company. We got people now was saying they black owned businesses, but they really not. They just the black front. We have to see how many of these banks that are saying that they're black owned are actually black owned. As long as they have FDIC insurance, let them market however they want to market. But just know that the answers are out there. You just got to look. Who's the CEO? Who's over accounting? They always make sure they got somebody in place over the money. They're not playing. You can be out front as far as the face, but we checking. We making sure our money's in order. And all black folk, we need to get like that too. We don't have to be the most popular, but we do need to make sure that we have our finances in order. Where's your money? And we've been so socialized that as long as we can get a loan, that we can look like we have these things. You know what I'm saying? But a loan doesn't generate revenue. You want to have revenue that you're generating and that you have so much that you have to get a loan because you have to hire more people because of all the revenue that is needed. But at this point, you can make billions of dollars just from a computer. You don't have to hire a lot of people no more. That's amazing, isn't it?
yes, it is.
It's intellectual property at this point. And people just invent something, patent it, get their trademarks, send it over somewhere else to get made. Boom. And it might live right next door to you. They don't go around bragging about it. Oh my goodness. There was this one of those true crime stories. I was looking at this Asian girl was dating this black guy and they had 2 kids together. She and her new boyfriend killed the black guy that she had the babies by. And she came up with cash for like $80 million.
Ooh.
She was out on, bail the whole time. And eventually, the guy that confessed that said, what they had him do, that he had to get rid of the body and this and this and that, his people messed him up so bad that she never got charged for murder. Never got charged for it. The boyfriend either. And she left the country. Family owned properties all over Hong Kong and all this stuff. I mean, 2 little black girls gone. And it's the boyfriend, he was only like 28 or something. They were young. I think he was younger than her, trying to become a chef. It was terrible. She didn't want him no more. That money, but her family had so many properties in this country and over in her country that, I mean, when they said bail, they came up with that money. I mean, it's unimaginable how rich they were. $23 black-owned banks in the U.S., none in Richmond. And most of those 23 don't even have any locations,
They're all online.
Yeah. Those to me, I don't trust. I feel like they're front for something. No. I'm just like, we have to be careful like that and realize that pretty much FDIC at this point is FDIC. Like if it's, a black bank, like what does it do? Does it focus on black business? What does it do? Like when I was on that panel and this black guy was saying that they had this black bank and it was really an online based bank, but they had a couple of branches, and I was saying that black business needed, our banks to be invested in them. He was like, we don't have enough black businesses for my bank to be worried about on the show.
Wow.
He was so ticked that I made him say something he didn't want to say publicly. I know he had to feel bad after he said it, because I didn't say nothing after he said it. I said, I just want that to marinate for the people watching. They were so mad for me calling. I don't even know if the show is still on the air, but they were so mad for me just calling him out on truth. You're not supposed to do that. But if there was some white guy up there and I was saying that, then it'd be cool. You so cool. You got that white man. I expect us to look out for us. It is amazing how we're so quick to think that somebody white is supposed to look out for us, but somebody black, like, they just black. Dang, no, I don't know. I'm cool. I hold us at just as high standard as I hold anybody else on this planet. I believe in myself. I believe in people that look like me. I believe that we can change these stats. But it's going to take, actual support of one another in order to do that, and stop thinking that, access to capital is the reason that we can't have businesses. That's crazy. No, when you look at this, report, and the black-owned business face many challenges 2024, including underrepresentation. Black Americans are underrepresented among business owners compared to their share of the population. That's not a challenge. That's a marketing opportunity. Why are we supposed to see that as a challenge? As a problem? That is a challenge for, like, okay, Urban League, what are you going to do to help us? From that perspective, yes. What is the commitment that your organization has made to doing business with Black people? Like I said about HBCUs. HBCUs called Dion on about, working for a Black HBCU. But what about HBCUs supporting Black-owned businesses so that they can hire Black graduates? We got to make a commitment to each other. But it doesn't even matter because they want to make sure that the white companies can come out and recruit, and it makes them feel really important because they certainly have to leave and go work for this white company. And that's something.
Yeah.
You don't even get to know the owner. Like, most people will never in their life ever talk to the president of a registered investment advisory firm ever, especially not Black folks, not ever. Our governor started his own registered investment advisory firm. Most people will never talk to him, and definitely won't ever get to talk to him about investments. But do they think that that's who they're talking to every time they talk to me? No, that's just JB. She's just Black, nappy headed, and that's something. So so check this out. Black businesses were growing at a rate of 30% between 2018 and 2021.
People that got wiped out by COVID.
Yo.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
despite growing at a rate of between 30% between 2018 and 20, Black-owned businesses with at least 2 employees represent only 2.5% of all businesses in the United States. These businesses are smaller. Only 3% have more than 20 employees, with the vast majority have fewer than 5 employees. But that's not a put down because that is the future. That actually could be the best thing for Black businesses because people that are personnel, companies that are personnel intensive have a lot more expenses. So they're kind of making a suggestion that one thing means another thing. It just depends. It just depends on what type of business they're in. If they got a call center, yeah, maybe having 3 people is a problem. You know what I'm saying? But if you're doing something like with AI technology or something, or no, it's not, it might not be a problem.
Yeah.
And they could have a whole bunch of contractors. No, that one, and I think the problem is like because we think that that's a status symbol, we're very quick to start a business and start hiring people. Then you jack it up because then you got to start laying people off. I've never had to lay anyone off. You don't want to have to do that. Then it increases your unemployment insurance rate and all that for the business, forever. So you don't, you want to make sure that everyone you're bringing on for good. You got something exactly what they need to be doing. And the venture capital investment is definitely something that our businesses need to develop a better understanding of. For us to think that venture capitalists or these venture capital funds are not investing in Black businesses because they're Black owned is ridiculous. They're investing in businesses and they can't even speak English. They're investing in businesses that are in China, India, Mexico. The key is
Potential.
what we
That,
do,
that
what
they
we
can.
have. So if you're doing something that exactly the potential is a good use of words as well, like the income potential, the sales potential, the earnings potential. Stock prices move forward based on the earnings potential of that country, that company, and the profitability.
Right. You're buying the future.
So when I'm thinking about this thing, the stock market is the same when you're investing in a business.
You're
It's not
buying the
because they
future.
like you and what you look like. You know what I'm saying? It's we have to start being more creative and forward thinking and investment minded. Think everything like the Shark Tank. It ain't. Shark Tank ain't nothing but TV. So much bigger than that, and we can do it. And your success is not big. Or most of the people that come there on Shark Tank anyway already are making like a million plus already.
That's
So and
right.
so sales, this and that. You know what I mean? That's not their jump off. They trying to get their money back out when they get there. Mm, mm, mm. Interesting thing it has in here about and this was like the last paragraph that it says. Can you see? I'm gonna share this with you. Down here on the end, it says systemic inequality robbed the US economy of an astounding 16 trillion over 20 years. Fear and resentment aren't just harming communities of color, but the resiliency and prosperity of the nation as a whole. I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, they're basically the country is losing money because if we're generating income, then
Hmm.
the whole country benefits from it.
But they
And
didn't say this in this report.
I know they don't
They
know how to talk.
yeah, they just threw that line down there.
Yeah,
And it says on here,
they don't know how to talk.
some activists who are trying to stifle discussions of historical racism in America's classrooms likely would prefer to stifle AEE's report.
What's that?
I know. Let's look over here. AEE's report. Everything has got to be so political all the time. You know,
Yeah,
King?
yeah.
Here it is. Alliance for Entrepreneur Equity, a partnership of the National Urban League and the Third Way. OS embarked on so the Alliance is part of the Urban League, of course. Here's the Alliance for Entrepreneur Equity.
I think
You
they
see it?
don't
You see
don't.
anybody black? Do you see anybody black in this picture?
Yeah, that girl
Maybe
with the
this girl.
glasses.
Maybe this girl right there.
Hmm.
She lighter than me, but her hair is nappy like mine.
Yeah,
That could be a weave sitting on her head. I think she's like Brazilian, like the Brazilian girls always say. They always say, "You look Brazilian." I do not. I look like I'm from North Carolina. But I don't know. But she could be, but I don't see any Black American. But that's the Alliance for Entrepreneurial Equity, and that the Urban League feels this deep resentment of something that's trying to harm them. The I think that the only reason that I've been able to stay in business this long is because I don't expect anything from anybody. You know, I know what I have to offer, and I truly believe that people who don't get my help are at a disadvantage. And I think that psychologically, we have to make sure that we do develop our skill and our trade that much, that be that good, that you realize that. So from that perspective, it can't be just 16 trillion. If the United States is doing something and keeping itself away from the best of us, and I don't see that because Afroeconomics, by all definitions, has been successful and have been able to help a lot of people in 30 years next year.
yeah. But considering the fact that we are the black community as a whole is now worth
Mm,
over $1 trillion. I think 1.2
mm.
trillion in
The
disposable
spending,
income.
but that's not what he was talking about. He was saying that that the U.S. economy has missed out on 16 trillion over 20 years, but he didn't break down like, um, but it wasn't about spending power at all.
Uh, my sense of the Urban League is they get off on this uh, this disadvantaged reporting on the disadvantage to the black community.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if they turned around and started helping correct that disadvantage,
Thank
they,
you.
they would put themselves out of work.
Thank you. Exactly what I was thinking. Because I was like, who put this? The propaganda in this report like wasn't about, okay, here's a solution. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It
no
was just,
solutions.
this is horrible. Oh, this is horrible. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then we go and look at a picture, and they ain't even talking about black folks. But the people in that picture, they talked about, well, because it's the Black Business Report. I don't know. So I yeah. So I guess on this part, but the alliance is about more than that. Yeah. But what here was saying something I was going to share. Oh, it was saying lawmakers in more than 30 states have introduced or passed more than 100 bills to shut down diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. I feel like that is something that the Urban League could work on.
Yeah.
And they should make a commitment. Like if they feel that, as they mentioned there, that that blacks are not getting government contracts, then do something about it. How do we
Yeah.
increase the chances of black people getting government contracts? Let's address this. But to say, oh, they missed out on $16 trillion somehow, did we? I feel more like this report told me that we missed out on $16 trillion that
Yeah.
was spent somewhere, but not with us.
Exactly.
I,
But yeah, they do this report every year, and a lot of it is boilerplate. And then
yeah,
they get a lot of money out of that report.
that's right. What did Miss Davis, Bridget Davis said?
Oh
They're
my goodness.
poverty pimps. That's true.
I mean, if they could have this report, but have like an action plan attached
Amen.
or
That's
something like
right.
that. Some suggestions.
That's right.
These are things we can.
Instead of
This is
just
nothing
telling.
wrong with
That's right.
information if
That's
it's
right.
accurate.
That's right.
But
That's right.
if you're at this large kind of institution,
That's
you
right.
should have some brilliant minds that can come up with some
That's
ideas.
right.
Exactly.
They could just as easily get a quote from me on what's the solution.
Hmm.
How, this is how we're going to find our way out.
Hmm.
We're going to not depend on government, on bank financing or government financing. The government SBA loans are the worst in the world. The interest rate is adjustable every 90 days, and they take 25% of your equity and your property. You don't want to go to bed with the government in
And
your business.
and JB,
A
that
lot of
position is
businesses don't know
very
that. Mhm.
that position that you take regarding SBA is it's against the grain. So you're saying something that people are not
Yes,
accustomed, and just people
but it's
being like,
true.
okay,
So we
here's
feel
the way
like
to
they're
look at
missing
it.
out. Yeah, because what we do, like when you first start your business, they have all these workshops and they tell you about these loans that you don't qualify. You don't
SBA.
qualify for. I didn't qualify for any of them. So I
Yep, they
stopped.
do.
I stopped going to it and just started doing work. You're missing work going to this thing, talking about, you know what I mean? What they want from you, and wait until you're into business. After 2 years, let us know. After 2 years, after I made it to 2 years, I don't need y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, what in the world? And
And
you just get through. You get through.
getting involved with the government contracts, the the requirements you have to meet in order to qualify
Yes.
cost a lot of money.
Yes.
In terms of the
Your
insurance.
home equity. You know,
Yeah.
and they want to take your home equity. Then they want life insurance on you also. Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
So you
So
get
you,
a
you
commercial
spending
bank.
big bucks
That's right.
just to qualify
Yep.
for the contract.
That's right. And we are qualified, but who wants to do it? Like, so when I did want to qualify, the commercial bank gave me a much better offer than an SBA loan. So I was like, why would I do that and pay a higher interest rate? They locked in my interest rate for 5 years, you know, and everything. But if we're just going and doing stuff, but not talking, not, you know, that's the advantage of Afro economics and talking to somebody who's already worked ahead of you. I've already been through that. I've already
Yeah.
done that. Like, you know, and but we're not. We're just out there listening to these people that work. They're not working in your best interest. They work for the lender.
JB, do you feel comfortable with small businesses, black businesses who are eligible for grants and things like that?
It's very few. And if they are, it'd be more like a nonprofit, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or they're doing something like that. And
Mhm.
you better follow those guidelines.
Oh yeah.
They will
Yeah.
send you to jail, you
Yes.
know? But yeah, it's amazing how many people think that, you know, those things are easy and there's so many grants out there and all you got, you know, and this and it's no.
Yeah. Those
No.
grants are very restrictive because
Oh yeah.
Yes,
there are
They have
rules
got
on.
they have rules. That's right.
yes, yes,
It's not free
yes,
without action, right?
yes,
Yeah.
They need to have some, you need to be
yes,
documenting everything, and they want to see what you
yes,
actually did in the community or
yes.
in your business or something.
And
I had
there
two,
and
yeah,
it's highly restrictive on what you can pay yourself.
Mm-hmm.
yep,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, it's, you know, there's nothing out there, you know, where you're getting and you don't have to pay back that doesn't have restrictions to it.
What
Even,
about like
even like those PPP loans and stuff. You know what
oh
I'm saying? There's people, I'm sure, still caught up in that, trying to prove that they had that payroll. Don't mess
boy,
with
they
the
was
government.
calling me left and right trying to give me money. I was like, how y'all even get
Mm,
my number?
mm, mm.
Can
Isn't that
you
sad?
please
Isn't
take
that
me off
sad?
your,
Yeah.
put me on your do not call
Ain't
list?
that sad? And those little companies like that, little minority offices, were getting like $250, $300 for every application. So your money is going like that already. But you thinking they're doing you a favor when you're giving they're just a catalyst. You think other people had to do that? No, they went right to their bank. The bank did it. You know what I'm saying? They got $10 million loans without giving up. They paid the bank and they paid the bank.
Mm-hmm.
No, they taking it from the black folk with in the minority business, taking the money from that person to pay that office. You know, and we oh, but I just feel like that we have to we have to get our confidence up. I think that the confidence is going to be the key to having a generation of very strong entrepreneurs. We need
Yeah.
to have the family support. You know, I didn't have it. Nobody in my family had ever been an entrepreneur except for the farmers, you know, generations back. But you know, you know, it was like that. You know, why would you do that when you can get a nice job? No, so I just say that it's a calling, like Johanna is saying, you have to have the courage to be visionary in business and economics. Yes, but you know, and thinking small is cool. You know what I'm saying? Thinking small is cool, but they have to have the courage, you know, to even make that small plan go big. And somebody, you know, they would think, right? Like, because I mean, they would tell me all the time that there's no way that my business was going to work. It's 30 years later. All I would hear, yes, we need to, yes, oh my goodness, yes, confidence, competence, and character. And Reverend Bozeman, would you say? Yes. We need to open our minds to accept how powerful we really are, beyond the negative reports and the things and the businesses that, even if we looked at the majority community, being in business is not easy. So there's no way that everybody should have a business. No way. Everybody should not have a business. But it would be great that those who did want to have a business would get, yes, indeed, would get more comfortable with starting one. And the only way for that to happen is, for us to have something that supports it, like Afroeconomics entrepreneurship, so you have somewhere to come and talk about entrepreneurship, about what's the best structure for your business. Should you be a sole proprietorship or a C corp or a LLC, or like you need to really go through those. What taxes are involved with different business structure, all that we can do. All that. We don't have to feel like, oh, we're alone. It's there. And you can, if you have an idea, I just think it's best that you pursue the idea and talk to people who can handle your idea. You take your idea and you start talking to people that have never had an idea. It's not fair to yourself. Be conscious of your audience. No, they can't. A lot of people can't handle your idea, and they don't think you can handle if your idea doesn't work. So what I say, you get some great advice, but people who love you, can also give you the worst advice you've ever gotten, because they don't want you to be disappointed. They don't want you to be hurt. But it's going to require taking chances in order to achieve something that's never been done before. You might be first generation entrepreneur like I was, but we do at some, point, it has to happen. If it's in you, and it doesn't mean it's going to be easy, it's going to take sacrifice. A lot. There was a lot of things that I couldn't do that I had to go without still, because I built and invest so much into my business. But that's what dreams are made of. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. We have it recorded here. Just, thoughts on that business growth for our community has slowed down. Traditional financing, as usual, for our businesses, is not there. But the good thing about it, as the report said, we don't tend to have a lot of debt. So, see that as a strength. See that as a strength. If you need to raise capital because of a particular project or a particular need, develop a plan in order to do that. It can happen. I can help people, focus on a venture capital project, but it's going to take an investment. And I mean, of your time and, my time. People want to think, but when we see the end of a deal and the deal is put together, there's a whole lot of people who got paid a whole lot before you saw that deal come through. So everything, everything takes time, takes money. I've been working towards, scaling it.
Oh, that's exciting.
Exactly. I think you should join Afroeconomics. Definitely. The entrepreneurship membership at afroeconomics.org. And when we meet, our one-on-one time, we'll go over the ideas. But that, that takes, a commitment, but a very minimal investment. But I know how valuable it is to have someone to talk to. I like to, well, that's great.
Yeah, that's
Well, I appreciate y'all. We had a great night. Y'all got quiet, but I'm glad that we did have that discussion about Blacks in entertainment and everything. And I hope that something I said will make us continue to, just start giving one another the benefit of the doubt. No, and I'm praying that no one got harmed. I really am. But I also, we got to remember, innocent until proven guilty, right? I don't care what it looked like. If I walk up to somebody and smack them in the face, and all you see on Facebook is I smack somebody in the face, you give me the benefit of the doubt that maybe they did smack me first. You just didn't see the rest of them. Right? Right? All you saw was that part. You don't know what happened. I was like, oh, you came in late. I was smacking them back. I ain't smacking them. Y'all love just keeps taking me higher. I appreciate y'all.
You looking great in red. You know,
You see my earrings.
I see him blinging.
Look, I paid her a compliment in chat. I don't know that she saw it.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Really festive.
Thank you. I got me a wardrobe behind this wall, and you wouldn't know that for all my black tanks, right? So you're telling me you got red and purple and blue and green, all that right behind me. But I prefer my black tanks.
But that looks great on your complexion.
Oh, you're so sweet.
It
That's
does.
so nice. Thank you. I'll
It
be
does.
wearing, look, for the next 6 weeks, you can be like, look, that was then. You can't wear that every Wednesday.
No, see, I'm the opposite. I'm like, keep going, honey.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you.
Lean into it.
Oh, you're so beautiful. Let me see y'all. Look at that. Oh, and y'all are
I
beautiful.
agree.
That's so sweet. Well, I love y'all. Thank you. Good night, Queen Howard. Good night, Mr. Jenkins.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, Yuhan. Good night, Reverend Bozeman. Good night, Miss Barbara Wilson. Good night. Good night, Queen Howard. Good night, Miss Davis, Bridget Davis, and the other Miss Davis, the OG. Wait a minute.
Good night.
You are so sweet. Good night, sweet. Love you. Bye-bye.
Oh, you too. All right. Night.